Okay, welcome to Weekly Bible Stories. I'm Pastor Dave, and this is what we're doing for Sunday school and youth group in the Bright Star Parish. Since it's the season of Epiphany, and it's a time where we focus on the person and the ministry of Christ, part of the ministry of Christ was teaching, and so we're going to be doing the parables of Jesus that are found in Mark. There's only a few of them in Mark, but we've only got a little bit of time, and so it matches, right? So I'm going to begin with the first parable, which is the parable of the wineskins. It's found in the second chapter of Mark, beginning with verse 18. And it gives you some of the context as well. John's disciples and the Pharisees were going without eating, and some of the people came to Jesus, and they said to him, John's disciples are fasting, the disciples of the Pharisees are also fasting, but your disciples are not. Why aren't they? And Jesus answered, how can the guests of the groom go without eating while he is with them? They will not fast as long as he is with them, but the time will come when the groom will be taken away from them, and on that day they will go without eating. No one sews a patch of new cloth on old clothes. Otherwise, the new piece will pull away from the old, and that will make the tear worse. No one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and then the wine and the wineskins will both be destroyed. No, people pour new wine into new wineskins. That'd be the first parable in the Gospel of Mark.
So is Jesus saying that his disciples are doing a new thing, and so they're not going to follow the old ways? Or is Jesus the new wineskin? I don't understand this one, Pastor.
It's sometimes called the parable of the wineskins. Of course, a wineskin is a skin that you put wine in. It's made out of a meat. It's made out of a skin from an animal, rather. Yeah,
like an animal hide?
A hide.
Okay.
Made out of a hide. You put wine, it's sewn together, and then you put wine in it. And but of course, if it's new and you put if it's old and you put new wine in it, then as the wine expands, then it can cause it to tear or rip, or you'd lose the wine. And so I guess maybe a way that we would say it is that it's not the same. You know, sometimes, particularly in the modern world, we do things with packaging, right? And so we put the same ketchup in a new bottle, and we say it's a new ketchup. And
new and improved. It's always improved.
New and improved. But I suppose Jesus is saying that, well, it is the New Testament, and it's the beginning of the New Testament, beginning of his ministry. This is, again, it's just the second chapter of Mark. And so he's saying that what I'm giving to you here is something new. It's not just been repackaged. It's something that's new. And so then I guess maybe the question is, what is new about it? And I think the emphasis of Jesus' ministry in general is a ministry of, it would be a ministry of compassion, of grace, of mercy. It's not to say that these things are missing in the Old Testament, because they aren't. They're there. But the emphasis, and that actually, I mean, the context is somewhat interesting, because he says it's a question about fasting. And, you know, I contrast the ministry of grace and mercy that Jesus has with, the people asking the question would have been the followers of the Pharisees.
Yeah, the ones that are like, you've got to follow the law.
And it would be, they would be the law. And so how do you do that? And, you know, I mean, I guess one of the ways, one of the dynamics of legalism is what I call legalism, is that idea that you sacrifice. And again, it isn't to say that there isn't sacrifice in the New Testament and in the Old Testament. That's a concept in spirituality in general. But to say that, you know, I need to make these personal sacrifices in order to earn my way into a right standing with God is certainly something that the Pharisees would have said. Now, whether they interpreted the Old Testament correctly or not would be in question. But certainly that's not what Jesus is saying. And he says that. He says, you know, the groom, that would be him, the groom is with them. That I'm with them now, they don't fast. And the time will come when they'll fast. But I guess it would be one of the teachings of Jesus later is to say, "I desire mercy and not sacrifice," and that would be the new wine and the new in the wineskins, right? That would be what's new, is that idea that what Jesus is teaching is an ethic of forgiveness and of mercy, of compassion, grace, and not one of, I mark this off my list of to-dos, and I do this and I do this and I do this, and that earns my way to heaven. Again, that would be legalism, and that's why it's a temptation for anybody, for all, I think for Christians as well. But it would miss the heart and the soul of what Jesus was teaching, and so that's what he's explaining here.
So to me, it seems like if they had insisted on fasting, well, the fact that they didn't fast tells me that Jesus didn't tell them they had to fast. So if they tell him they have to fast, well, Rabbi, we have to fast. Who tells Jesus what to do?
Yeah, that would be.
That's backwards.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't require it of them meant that they didn't do it. We do what Jesus requires of us.
Where the Spirit of the Lord, there is liberty.
Yeah.
And so the liberty that we have, and it's not particularly, obviously we're in a month or so, we'll be in Lent, and we encourage fasting. But again, that's something that we, at least within the context of Methodism, we let people pray about that, and God, it lays it on their heart to fast or not to fast. It's not particularly something that you do to earn something from God. Fasting. Sometimes I've heard like a hunger strike for God, right? I'm going to hunger strike and you're going to have to do what I want. That's not the point of it, right? The point is, Jesus actually says, I just gave a devotion for a meeting that I was at. I'm talking about the word groom. The word groom means servant. It originally means servant. And so Jesus talks about servanthood. And I think part of servanthood is sacrifice that we give to one another. But we do that, I guess, what would be the difference? Why is it new wine? And the difference would be our motivation. You sacrifice for your family, for your loved ones, because you care about them. You do things for them. You want to do things.
Yes.
You don't have to do things. No one's scolding you to do those things. It isn't particularly that Jesus is saying, we never will fast, because actually he says here, when I'm gone, they'll fast. But the reason that we fast or the reason that we sacrifice at all is it comes out of the context of those relationships, and not the other way around. It's not intended to earn something from God. It's done well.
We love because he loved us.
Yeah, it's intended to be out of a sense of gratitude and thanksgiving. So
there you go. Do all things in thanks to God. All right.